Hi, I'm Susan, and this is what I'm making today. For my first project, I'm taking this 8x10 canvas that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm going to paint the sides and a little bit around the edge of the front with Waverly chalk paint and celery. I'm going to add some paper to the front, but I just want a little bit of a border so that I don't have any of the white showing. I got this print from Etsy. It was a set of background papers for Christmas, and it's from Pink Monarch Prints, and they have some beautiful background papers. And I tried to tear it with a tearing ruler, but my ruler wasn't large enough, and I printed this on cardstock, so it just didn't want to tear. So I used my Decor scissors and just did that, and I'm clipping my corners here. And I'm just going to use some glue stick and to put that down, and then I will Mod Podge over the top. I realized that I once again forgot to distress the edges, and as I was distressing, it came up. So I decided to add my paper back down, and I just used art glitter glue. I figured it would have a better hold. And I distressed it with this Tim Holtz Distress Ink in Vintage Photo. Now before I decoupage, I want to add in my other paper elements. And I have this beautiful scrapbook paper, and I'm going to divide it. It's a 12 by 12 sheet, and I'm going to cut it in half, or tear it in half with so that I'll have it 6 inches wide. So this would fit on my canvas. And now I'm going to find the center point of the top, and I want to tear it down into a triangle, and I do make it a little bit shorter. My large ruler was not a tearing ruler, and I could not tear the paper down with it. It was too thick, but I was able to measure and put my tearing ruler up against it. Now here I realized you always want to tear with the big side, up, and it just tears a lot better. It's hard to tear when it's real skinny. Anyway, I have my triangle, and I'm just tearing around the bottom to kind of give it a little bit of a dress shape. Now I'm making a template for the wings for my angel. I go through some of my old scrapbook paper and try to find something I think would look nice as wings. And what I opted to do is to use some vellum, because the others just wasn't quite the right color, or it blended in too much. So I thought the vellum would be pretty and give that little ethereal look. Now, I didn't think it through because I decided I was just going to cut the paper in half and just fold it over, and that way my wings be connected, but it ended up making it not the right size. So I had to trim it down, but I think it's still okay, but I do like the original shape better. Once I get the wings to where I'm happy with it, I do realize that it also blended in. So I took some of my gold ink, and I just went around the edges with the gold to help make it stand out, and to give it a little bit of that more ethereal feel. And I just kind of give the indication of the feathers. Now for my angel head, I had a piece of embossed cardstock that I had done, and I just die cut it out a flower of the embossed and the right size, and that's what I'm using as the angel's face. I ink it up with some of that vintage photo distress ink, and I go around my dress as well. And then I decide to go ahead and go around the wings so that they would stand out even more. Now that I'm happy with the placement of my angel, I go ahead and glue it down using a glue stick. Now I'm going to Mod Podge over everything, and I'm using the Sparkle glitter Mod Podge, and it really makes it pretty. Now once it's dry, I'm embellishing everything, and if you watched my Sunday Fun Day video, you see that this thing I tried to find a place for, well, I finally found a home for it. I tried to use that pick on everything, and it just didn't fit. Now I know why. It was for my angel. So I take a pretty ribbon poinsettia, and I have some pretty buttons that I got from Walmart, and I also have some different little ribbon roses, and I decide which one I want to add. Now I do cut off the shank of the button before gluing it, and then I just add in my little ribbon rosebuds, and I just think it turns out beautiful. For the last finishing touch, I use this piece little tag that I had from some of my digitals, and I clip the corners, and then I just go around it with the distress ink, and I just hot glue it on, and it gives it just a little bit of dimension. And here's how it turned out. I love this. I think it's beautiful. I love the sparkle. Now, Mod Podge is a product of Plaid, and I'm a Plaid ambassador, and they have the best stuff, paints and Mod Podge, you name it. I hope you like my angel. This Christmas challenge is hosted by Heidi Sonboul DIY. Heidi is amazing and so talented, and I love everything she does. She has 3 other channels: Heidi Sonboul Home, Heidi Sonboul Health, and Heidi Sonboul Paper Crafting. Please check out her channels and the playlist. I will have everything listed in my description box down below. For my second DIY, I take this tray I got from Dollar Tree, and I paint it also in the Waverly chalk paint and celery. And it only takes about 1 good coat and maybe a little bit of touch up. Once my tray is dry, I cut out some of the flowers and such from this paper. This paper also came from Etsy, and it's from Paper Princess Digital, and it's so pretty. It's a Victorian Christmas. Anyway, I just take bits and pieces from this paper, and I just cut it out. I just do a little fussy cut. I cut out that basket in the center, and then I'll cut out another poinsettia as well. Now I'm going to distress the edges of the paper that I printed out. Once I finish that, I go ahead and glue them down using my glue stick. And I'm using the glue stick because it won't wrinkle the paper as badly as wet glue would or even Mod Podge. So the glue stick holds it down until I can Mod Podge over the top. Now I'm going to Mod Podge over everything, and I do go ahead and Mod Podge the side as well because this is that sparkle Mod Podge. Once the Mod Podge is dry, I embellish with some of this ribbon that I have. And this ribbon, I believe, came from, it was either Dollar Tree or Dollar General. I finish it off with a couple of bows, and I make sure I get them the same size, and I try to get my loops the same size. And I cut off a little piece which I intended to put in the center, but I tied it tight with a piece of jute cord, and I like the way that looks, so I didn't even bother with adding the other edge. And I just cut off the tails of the jute, and then I just hot glue the bows to the side of my tray. And here's how my tray turned out. I love it. I love the paper. I love the color. It's not that in-your-face green, although I like that in-your-face green as well. But this just, I feel, has such a vintage look about it. I hope you like it as well. For my third and final DIY, I take these crates that I got from Dollar Tree, and I paint them using Waverly chalk paint and crimson. It only took one coat and a little bit of touch-up. I also make sure that I paint in between the slats. Now that my crates are dry, I want to make a flower arrangement. So I put some styrofoam into both of the crates, and on the one on the bottom I just put it at the very side because that's all I need. And then I just hot glue the crates on caddy corner, and I do a bead of glue on the bottom to help hold it. And now I'll just add in bits and pieces of stuff that I have. I did not have any Spanish moss, so I used some raffia to hide the foam in the top. On the bottom, I'll have so much stuff that you won't be able to see it anyway. But at the top, I want to make sure that I poke that raffia down in the front so that you can't see the styrofoam through the slats. Now I have just a tiny bit of buffalo check ribbon, the little small thin ribbon I got at Hobby Lobby. And I just do a strip on the middle slat on both of the crates. Now I just start adding bits and pieces of what I've just got in my stash. I don't have a lot of any one, and so I'm just using what I do have. I have some boxwood. I had that little red bauble that's on a piece of pine. I have two pretty white roses and a red rose, and so I use that for the color. And I just keep adding bits of baby's breath and picks and just whatever I could find until I'm happy with the way it turned out. And I do love flower arrangement because you just keep adding and playing with it until you're happy, and it makes your heart sing. So I hope you will like this as well. And here's how my flower arrangement turned out, and I think it's beautiful. It screams Christmas. I don't even have any poinsettias in there, but it still screams Christmas. And I think even with the farmhouse look, it still has a bit of elegance. And here's all my projects together. I love each and every one. This is one challenge that when I got done, I really had fun. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Ring that bell so you can be notified when I upload new content. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Thank you, Heidi, for hosting this challenge. I just really enjoyed it. Be sure and check out Heidi's channels and the playlist in my description box down below. And until next time, bye y'all.